To hoard or not to hoard? That is the question. Ben Brode. Maybe. What's up, everybody? Chad Snappington here. I am feeling a bit under the weather, so I am having my friend David do the voiceover for me. Today I want to talk about regular caches and hoarding in Marvel Snap. Recently, within the Snap community, there has been more information revolving hoarding and changes to the cache system. I want to go over what was recently said as well as what some of the players have to say about the matter. Deadeye asks, ever since the introduction of Spotlight caches and the change in collector reserves, many people have been hoarding their reserves, expecting for a buff to them. Most of them have a problem with the gold tickets that it contains, which kind of forces them to play more Conquest, or they get converted into unfair amount of boosters at the end of the season. So, is this a concern for the team, that people are hoarding reserves instead of opening for rewards since months? Is this anything that they are looking into? There was nothing about it in the roadmap as well. I am asking this so that everyone who still have their hopes high don't get disappointed if even after months of hoarding, there are still no changes. Also, thanks for the amazing work you guys do. Spider-Man emoji, Cosmo emoji. Steven responds by saying, our stance on reserve hoarding has not changed. We hear the feedback that folks want additional value out of reserves. Based off our models and data, the game economy cannot currently support higher rewards out of reserves. As a result, we have no plans to change collectors' reserves at this time. If we did make a major change at some point in the future, we would most likely do it in a way that auto-opens hoarded reserves out of fairness. If this happened, our goal would be to make sure folks who are playing and opening reserves to have the most fun out of their time playing Snap do not feel punished. Okay, so there is a lot to take away from this. Let's start with the issue of gold tickets. For me personally, I live in a country that require me to use a VPN to play the game, and one minor connection issue can cause me to lose an entire match. So I don't even bother with Conquest mode. But even for most players, nobody enjoys items that have an expiration date. I see so many people on Reddit complain about not wanting to open caches near the end of the season in fear of possibly opening a gold ticket that will immediately be turned into random boosters. Now, this is the part that really kills me. Stefan goes on to say, based off our models and data, the game economy cannot currently support higher rewards out of reserves. Bruh, where are you getting this data and can we see it? 'Cause personally, I just don't buy it. Right before this happened, SD received $100 million from investors to help support the game, so I don't see the game shutting down anytime soon. That means this guy is either saying we are making the same as we were making prior to the Spotlight system, or we are making less than we were making. Yet prices for the game have only been getting more and more expensive since the implementation of the new system, and based on my high school economics class, in an economy with low demand, prices go down. So something just isn't adding up. Then Steven goes on to say how if caches were to change, they would implement an auto-open mechanic out of fairness to the players who already opened their caches. This in particular baffles me. All players have free will and can decide for themselves to open or not open their caches. It's not like some players are being held up at gunpoint by SD, forcing them to open their caches while others aren't. My thoughts are this is SD's way of saying, we are afraid that players are going to take advantage of our weak and fragile economy by double dipping. We need money too, you know. Just 15 minutes before this, another user on Reddit asked about gold tickets in collector's reserves. Margig says, as the topic of collector reserves has been brought up again, can you please explain why it was decided to add gold tickets to the reward pool? I understand that you did not want to increase the rewards when 50 tokens was an option, but something infinitely obtainable isn't very exciting. Was anything else ever considered, or was it an obvious choice? Steven replies by saying, at the time, Conquest had just come out, and we felt they were perceived as a valuable reward that would help players save time and jump straight into Gold Conquest to try to earn an infinity ticket. Unfortunately, the perception of gold tickets did not reach that bar. Hopefully in the future, as we add more features, events, clans, more game modes, booster VATs, etc., we can find a replacement for gold tickets with something that the community values more. Okay. So Steven even admits that gold tickets are not perceived as a valuable item, and goes on to say that in the future, SD would like to add more valuable items. That means there is a chance that caches will change, but in his post from 15 minutes later, he said they have no plans to changes caches anytime soon. At this point, SD seems aware that players don't enjoy the current cache system, but are just content with where things are. Personally, I think one thing that could change in the cache system is a change in the way variants are distributed. Right now, out of every 9 caches, you will pull from the cosmetic reserve 3 times. Within that 3 times, you have a 40% chance to get a variant. So basically every 9 caches, you will pull 1 variant. On top of that, this is always going to be a mystery variant, meaning you have a high chance of getting a pixel and very little chance of getting a super rare. I think if premium variants could be implemented into this, it would make opening reserves that much more rewarding, especially with how more and more variants are being priced at 1,200 gold, also artificially making the game more expensive. But that is just me. How would you change the caches? Let me know in the comments. You've been Total Chads, and I'll see you in the next video.